everyone. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Today we're diving into a simple, heartwarming episode where Linda cooks with CEO Quang's mom and risks one brave question that could change everything. If you enjoy the story, don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss the next videos. Not every episode needs drama to feel deep. Sometimes the most unforgettable moment is just a warm kitchen and a heart that finally dares to step inside. Early this morning, Linda walks down from the mountain to the village while the air is still cold and quiet. She carries a small basket, nothing fancy. A few fresh fruits from her harvest, a bundle of wild greens, and a tiny jar of homemade chili salt. She stops at the gate for a second, not because she's lost, because her heart is still learning how to feel safe in places that matter. She takes a breath and knocks. The door opens quickly. A familiar, gentle face appears, smiling like Linda is expected. Come in. It's cold outside. Don't stand there. Linda steps in and bows her head slightly. I came early. I hope I'm not disturbing you. Disturbing? No. I'm happy you came. Linda holds the basket out with both hands. I brought something small, just from my harvest. The older woman looks inside and her eyes soften. She touches the fruit lightly, as if she can feel the effort in it. You didn't have to, but this is sweet of you. It's not much, Linda says, a little embarrassed. I just didn't want to come empty-handed. You coming is already enough. A kettle whistles from the kitchen. The house smells like warm water and wood smoke. Simple, comforting. Come. Today we cook something simple. You help me. Linda blinks. Me? Cook with you? Yes. Just a simple meal? Like family. That word, family, lands gently, but it still makes Linda's chest tighten. She nods and follows into the kitchen. The kitchen isn't fancy. It's real. A wood stove, a worn cutting board, pots hanging from hooks. The warmth hits Linda's cheeks right away, melting the cold she carried down from the mountain. An apron is placed in her hands. Put this on. If oil stains your clothes, someone will complain later. Linda's cheeks warm even more. He wouldn't complain? A soft laugh. Let me tease you a little. Linda ties the apron carefully. She stands straighter than usual, not from pride, but from nervous respect. Vegetables are set on the counter. Wash these for me? Yes, of course. Linda rolls up her sleeves and rinses the greens. The water is cold, but the room is warm. Across from her, ginger is sliced with quick, practiced movements. The steady tap of the knife makes the silence feel safe. After a moment, a gentle voice breaks the quiet. Is it very cold up there these days? Linda nods. In the mornings, yes, but I'm used to it. And are you eating properly? Linda hesitates. I try. Sometimes I get busy and forget, but I'm okay. A small hum of disapproval, not harsh, just caring. You can't forget to eat. Being strong doesn't mean starving. Linda looks down at the greens in her hands. That simple concern makes her throat tighten. I'm trying, she says quietly. And you sleep okay? The wind is loud on the mountain. Some nights are quiet, some nights not so quiet. But I sleep. Good. If you need anything, you say it. Don't keep everything trapped inside. Linda nods, but her lips press together. She wants to answer. She's just still learning how to believe she's allowed to ask. They cook side by side, and the morning becomes softer. Linda chops garlic too big. A laugh escapes from the older woman, and she reaches over, showing Linda how to smash it first with the flat side of the knife. Like this. Then it smells better. Linda tries again. The scent rises immediately, sharp and warm. Oh, that's better, Linda says, smiling. You learn fast. The compliment relaxes Linda's shoulders. She moves more naturally now, less afraid of making mistakes. Soup begins to simmer. A pan warms. A simple plate of vegetables waits on the side. The kitchen fills with the smell of home. At one point, the older woman glances at the basket of fruit on the table again. So, your harvest. Did you get a lot? Linda shakes her head modestly. Not a lot, but enough. This season is better. And you sold some? Linda nods. Yes, I sold some. I saved some. I'm trying to be careful. Hard work brings results. Linda hears that and feels something warm bloom inside her. Not romance, not excitement. Something quieter, like being seen and not judged. Without thinking, Linda says, I want to stand on my own feet. I don't want to depend on anyone. The older woman nods while stirring the soup. That's good. But don't push yourself until you break. Independence isn't the same as suffering. A short silence passes. Then, in a calm voice, as if talking about everyday life, she adds, prices are going up for everything. Rice, oil, medicine, even fixing a roof costs more than it should. She doesn't complain. She doesn't ask for pity. She simply states it like it's normal. Then she smiles quickly, as if to erase any worry. It's fine, I can manage. I just have to count carefully. Linda's hands slow. Her eyes drift to a small shelf with medicine bottles, to a corner where a repair looks half-finished, to the way the older woman keeps her shoulders relaxed, like carrying weight is simply part of her routine. Linda doesn't feel pity. She feels gratitude. This woman has never treated her like an outsider, never made her feel small, never demanded anything from her. Linda dries her hands on a towel. Her heart beats faster, but her eyes stay steady. Can I say something? Of course. Linda swallows. I sold some fruit this week, and I wanted to ask you something. Say it. Linda glances at her basket, then back up. I want to help you, she says softly. Just a little. The older woman freezes. What? Linda rushes to explain, afraid of being misunderstood. Not because I think you can't handle things, she says quickly. And not because I'm trying to prove anything. I just want you to worry less. Even a little. The older woman's voice turns gentle but firm. No, that's your money. Your hard work. Linda shakes her head. It's from my harvest, she says. And I want to share it. That's all. The older woman looks at her for a long moment, reading her face, her tone, her heart. And before she can answer, footsteps sound outside the kitchen. Not loud, not rushed, just approaching. Linda turns her head toward the doorway. In that warm kitchen, with soup simmering and her quiet offer hanging in the air, the next moment is about to decide whether Linda's sincerity becomes comfort or becomes a misunderstanding she never intended. The footsteps stop at the kitchen doorway. CEO Quang appears, hair a little messy like he came straight off the road. He pauses when he sees the scene. Soup simmering, vegetables lined up, and Linda standing there with a towel in her hands, looking a little too serious for a normal morning. He smiles, trying to keep it light. Wow, I leave for a while and you two become a secret cooking team? A calm voice answers, amused. Don't exaggerate. She's helping me. Linda turns quickly, surprised, then bows slightly. Good morning. It smells good, he says, eyes warm. I'm hungry. Go wash your hands, comes the reply. We're almost done. He disappears for a moment. As soon as he's gone, the kitchen feels quieter again, and the offer Linda made is still hanging in the air. I didn't mean to make things awkward, Linda whispers. A gentle hand lifts, stopping her. I know what you meant. Linda's eyes rise. Then, are you angry? Angry? No. The older woman shakes her head. I'm surprised. And I'm touched. Linda swallows. I only want you to worry less. Even a little. I believe your heart, the older woman says softly. But I can't take your money like that. Linda's shoulders drop until she hears the next words. Not because I don't need help sometimes, the older woman adds, because I don't want you to think love must be paid for. Linda's eyes widen. I'm not paying for anything. I'm just grateful. The older woman steps closer and squeezes Linda's hand. You've given plenty already. Respect, effort, sincerity. That's rare. Linda's voice trembles, but she stays steady. I still want to do something now. A quiet pause, then a compromise. Then don't give me money, the older woman says. Buy something practical for this house. Rice, oil, medicine if needed. Small, useful. Something I can accept without feeling like I'm taking from you. Relief washes over Linda's face. I can do that. I want to. Good, the older woman murmurs. That feels like a family meal, not a donation. Just then, footsteps return. CEO Quang walks in, drying his hands. So? He asks, sitting down. What's the menu? Simple food, the older woman answers. But warm. Linda sets bowls on the table, soup in the center, vegetables on the side, a small fried dish with golden edges. CEO Quang inhales dramatically. This smells like home. Linda pauses at that word, but a piece of food lands gently in her bowl first. Eat, the older woman says. You came down early. Thank you, Linda replies, touched. CEO Quang notices immediately. Hey, why does she get the first bite? Because you talk too much, comes the calm answer. Linda laughs, and the laugh is real. No nerves, no forced politeness, just warmth. They eat. No big topics, no tests, only small jokes and soft glances. CEO Quang keeps looking at Linda like he's proud, even if he doesn't fully understand why yet. After a while, he asks, You cooked together today? Yes, the older woman says. I learned a few things, Linda adds. He raises an eyebrow. Like what? Linda smiles shyly. Smash the garlic first. He laughs. That's important knowledge. The older woman shakes her head. He thinks everything is a joke. It's not a joke, he replies, hand on his chest. It's survival. Linda giggles again, and for the first time in a long time, she feels like she can breathe normally in someone else's home. After the meal, Linda stands at the sink to wash dishes. The older woman tries to stop her, but Linda insists gently. Please sit. I can do this. CEO Quang leans on the doorway, watching her rinse bowls. His eyes are quiet now, soft, thoughtful. From the table, the older woman speaks casually, but clearly enough to be heard. She brought fruit from her harvest today. CEO Quang glances at the basket. And she offered to help. The older woman adds, careful, not dramatic, just truthful. Linda freezes for half a second, water running over her fingers. CEO Quang straightens. Help. How? Before Linda can panic, the older woman continues gently. She wanted to share a small part of her fruit money so I could worry less. CEO Quang looks at Linda, surprised, moved, and a little protective. Linda turns, voice soft and fast. I didn't mean to disrespect you, I know, he says, stepping closer. His tone is calm, not angry. I know your intention. Linda's eyes sting. I want to be part of this, not a guest. His voice lowers. You already are. The older woman nods, satisfied. I told her I won't accept it like that, but I said she can buy rice or oil if she insists. CEO Quang exhales, relieved. That feels right. Linda's shoulders relax. He looks at her again, gentle but serious. Next time, don't carry things alone in silence. Tell me first, okay? Linda nods. Okay. Later, when the dishes are done, Linda steps outside for air. The sun is higher. The yard is quiet. CEO Quang follows and stands beside her. Not too close, not too far. You did well today, he says. I was scared, she admits. I didn't want her to misunderstand me. She won't, he says. She sees your heart. Linda looks down. And you don't mind? He shakes his head. I don't mind kindness. I just don't want you to think you have to earn your place. Linda's voice turns small. I'm still learning. Then learn slowly, he replies. With me. Linda's eyes shimmer and she nods once. Okay. Behind them, through the window, the older woman watches quietly, teacup in hand. Her expression is soft, almost like a prayer. And for now, the warmth holds.
Xin chào mọi người. Trong tập này, Linda và Linda theo bà và cậu cháu ra nương mía. Dưới nắng sớm, bà vừa chặt mía vừa kể chuyện ngày xưa. Dạy chặt 3 hoặc 4 khúc cho đẹp.